Joni Mitchell.
We are. Joni Mitchell and her lifelong septuagenarian Canadian friend, Neil Young, has removed their music from Spotify purely because the Spotify, of course, is the online music streaming service and podcast service. Both Joni Mitchell and Neil Young believe that they shouldn't be spouting anti-vax messages on their platform, and we must reiterate that it's not Spotify itself. It's a man called Joe Rogan. Now, I'm out with demographic, not only of podcasts, but who Joe Rogan actually is.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
But my son, and Tom has heard of him, my son's also called Tom.
Gosh.
And
Because you're very young, Tom. Apparently.
He's got a cult following in terms of his podcasts, and he's predominantly, a conspiracy theorist, we would say, and he's, he's extolling the virtues of choice and freedom of speech. And I think this is definite clarity from the Swedish company Spotify. They took 0.3 of a second to reply to Neil Young's request to, take Joe Rogan off or keep Neil Young. They were like, well, thanks very much, love, but on you go, see you later. But as someone else has said, to quote Joni Mitchell, you don't know what you've had till it's gone, or something like that.
Yes, she did
So
say
we
that.
don't know, there's movements here, but also it's worth highlighting that both Joni Mitchell and Neil Young had polio when they were younger. So they
believe in vaccines.
They very much believe in vaccines.
But this Joe Rogan guy, I mean, am I right that Spotify signed him up for a fortune because they value his podcast?
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest podcasts in the world, as far as I understand it. So he's a stand-up comedian, fundamentally. He also, I think, does commentary on UFC fighting in the US or something like this. So he's got this huge cult following. And he just invites on people from all different kind of perspectives. Some of them sometimes conspiracy theorists, sometimes just commentators and all the rest of it.
It's
So it's
him.
this kind of huge sort of platform. And I think really at the end of the day, he's not necessarily an anti-vaxxer.
No.
I think he's someone who just probably a little bit vaccine hesitant and has had on some slightly more crankish voices. But I just don't think you should be calling on a company to silence people you disagree with, even if it is a
He's
very
the one who
well-paid
was interviewing
podcast.
Elon Musk when Elon Musk was smoking a dodgy cigarette.
Is that right?
claim to fame.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he is. I recognise him because I see clips of him pop up on YouTube. He's one of those that the suggestions comes up with him all the
But I
time.
just wonder if it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because really the fundamental demographic of people who would follow Neil Young, I wouldn't have thought they were Spotify.
Would be the same people.
No.
They would have them, with vinyls or a CD, and
Well, that's why
not the-
Spotify doesn't care about this protest, isn't it, as much as anything else, because the revenue they would be getting is just negligible.
yeah.
From either of those artists.
Yeah.
However,